Hey pups, RP here, and today I'm doing another fanfiction reading, and it is a Random Doom fanfiction called, let me pull up Chrome for 1 second, Random Doom Woods by Hero Drake. I believe that's how you pronounce the username. I'll leave a link to the fanfiction in the description below, and without further ado, let's begin. Random Doom Woods. The woods were something everyone at the ranch loved, especially today, when Ross managed to get almost everyone to play a game of hide-and-seek in the woods. Besides Matthew, who referred to the game as silly and time-consuming, and Elizabeth, who laughed at the offer. Everyone was playing. Rules were 1. Touching home base, which is a random tree in a random clearing, meant you were safe. 2. Anything goes. 3. The woods are the boundaries. 4. To capture someone, you need to tag them. Right now, Vincent was it. So far, he wasn't having any luck. He stood by home base, the aforementioned random tree, and watched the tree line. Right now, he hated this game, due to everyone's strange ability to find him. Maybe he just had bad hiding spots. Or was it that he was just that gullible? That cookie in the middle of the woods was a bit suspicious when he saw it. Although being it sucked, he did enjoy that cookie. You know guarding home is against the rules, came a voice from behind Vincent. He quickly turned and saw Cotton and Rupert sitting against the tree. How did you... Never mind, Vincent said, sitting down beside Rupert. The Toxicroak pulled out 3 sodas and handed one to Vincent and Cotton. Vincent smiled and sipped his soda, thinking about what to do next. If they could get by him, then anyone could. He had to go find someone. I hate hide-and-seek, Vincent said, glad to get that off his chest. Relax. I'm sure you'll be able to find someone, Rupert said, drinking some of his soda. Cotton gave Vincent an encouraging smile. Yeah, it should be easy to find Scratch or Sibelius, Cotton added. That was easy, came Scratch's voice as he dropped out of the leaves. Right behind him was his faithful partner in crime, Sibelius, and the two leaned against the tree proudly. You were saying? Vincent said, slightly confusing the 2 kids. Cotton looked away and sipped her soda, slightly amazed at Vincent's bad luck. While the 2 kids started to talk, Vincent placed his soda on the grass and stood up. So who's not here? Vincent asked sarcastically. Well, Rupert started, drinking the rest of his soda. Napoleon, Ross, he was cut off by a certain Leafeon, lunging at the tree, touching the trunk, securing safety. Yes! Saria shouted. In your face, Napoleon! She looked straight at Napoleon, who quickly hid in the trees as everyone turned towards Saria. She turned towards them and immediately felt embarrassed. I'm very competitive, she said as a response to her behavior. As I was saying, Rupert continued, Napoleon, Ross, Edna, Danny, and Mary, actually, those 2 left. Remember? Cotton said, interrupting Rupert. Rupert nodded, and thought over who else was left. Oh yeah, and I guess Veruca. That should be everyone, Rupert said. Vince's eyes lit up at this. Did he say Veruca was still out there? Maybe she could use the help of one heroic Lucario. Alright, I'm off. See you guys later, Vincent said, heading off into the woods. Rupert smiled to himself and looked at Vincent's soda. His best bet wouldn't mind him taking a sip or 2. As he reached for it, Cotton slapped his hand. Jerk, Rupert said. Thief, Cotton responded. Vincent walked through the woods, half-heartedly searching for one of the remaining Pokemon. Someone! Vincent shouted, his voice echoing through the woods. I just want to find someone! He wandered through the woods, focusing on every little movement. Suddenly, he heard a rustle. Gotcha! Vincent shouted, jumping into the bush. He was quickly met by the thorns of the bush and stared at the wild Bidoof, The Lucario pulled himself out of the bush, growling at the Bidoof. Stupid Bidoof, Vincent growled before he started off. Another rustle came from behind him. He turned unexpected to see the Bidoof rolling on his back in laughter. But the little Pokemon was nowhere to be found. Turning back around to head off his merry way, he spotted the Bidoof beside a bush, staring at him. "How did you get over there?" Vincent asked. But received no response from the wild Bidoof. Suddenly, the Bidoof growled at Vincent and spat at him, trying to start a fight. "Why?" Vincent asked before the Bidoof ran into a bush. He quickly chased the Bidoof into the bush, only to realize it was the same thorn bush the Bidoof had tricked him into running into before. Only after he pulled himself out of the bush did Vincent realize the Bidoof was gone. He sighed. Even a wild Pokemon could escape him. Snap! Vincent's ears perked up to someone swearing underneath their breath after the twig snapped. He turned towards the source, right in time to see the orange tail of a certain Fernape running into the bushes. "Yes!" Vincent said to himself before chasing after Veruca. She started to run through the woods as Vincent followed her. Veruca stopped and threw a few fireballs at Vincent. He barely dodged it before continuing to chase Veruca. Wasn't fighting against the rules? Veruca started to speed up, hoping to run out the Lucario, but Vincent managed to keep up with her. She threw more fireballs at Vincent, and randomly turned and swerved and hid. No matter what Veruca tried, though, Vincent didn't give up, and kept on with the chase. "Give up!" Vincent shouted before a fireball flew past his head. Veruca grabbed onto a branch above her, and slowly jumped onto it as Vincent ran by. Landing on a branch behind the Lucario, Veruca smiled to herself. "Not today, Vince." Veruca turned and jumped through the trees to get away from Vincent. She ran for a good 10 minutes or so, getting an uncomfortable distance between her and Vincent. After making sure she managed to lose Vincent, she jumped onto the ground and quickly leaned against a tree. "I didn't think he was so fast," Veruca said in between panting. Her legs hurt from running, but now she could rest. After a few minutes, she started to walk away from the tree. Just because she was tired didn't mean the game was over. Any minute Vincent could come out of nowhere and catch her off guard. Hopefully he wouldn't, but one could only hope. Veruca noticed as she walked that the forest seemed oddly calm. She couldn't hear a single sound, not even the wind causing the leaves to rustle. Quickly ignoring the fact as her imagination, she continued to walk. "Veruca!" came a voice from the trees. Veruca quickly turned and saw no one. She looked around her, checking everywhere for the voice's owner. Veruca took her battle stance, preparing for anything. "Gotcha!" came Vincent, who had jumped out of the trees behind Veruca. Before she could turn around, Vincent had tackled her to the ground. Without hesitation, he lightly tapped Veruca's arm, successfully catching her. He sat up and cheered. He was no longer it. "Good job, Vince," Veruca said as she rolled onto her back. She looked up and smiled at Vincent, glad that this game was over. "Thanks," Vincent said, still sitting on top of Veruca. "But you were really hard to get." Vincent stood up, smiling his goofy smile, and extended a paw to help Veruca up. "Thank you. It was smart to sneak up on me like that," Veruca said. She gratefully took his paw and stood up. "How did you know I was left?" Veruca asked Vincent. He thought for a second. "It's hard to lose sight of something as beautiful as you," Vincent replied, blushing at his own response. Veruca just smiled at Vincent, blushing a bit herself. They quickly realized they were staring at each other, and looked away in embarrassment. "We should get back to the others," Vincent said, scratching the back of his head. Yeah," Veruca quickly replied, and they started to walk back towards the tree. Vincent smiled to himself as he walked with Veruca. This wasn't bad, Vincent thought. He got to play with his friends. He actually caught someone. And now he's on a nice walk with Veruca. What did he have to complain about? As the two made it back to the tree, Vincent knew one thing for sure. "Veruca's it!" he shouted before everyone quickly ran off, leaving a slightly surprised Veruca. She stomped her foot on the ground. Veruca growled at the Lucario. "Vincent!" Veruca shouted angrily. Okay, that was Random Doom Woods. I hope you guys liked the story. Again, links are in the description. as well as my other links and everything. Just everything's in the description. I did not plan a script for this, but anywho, I will see you all next time. Stay awesome, stay strong, and stay beautiful, little pups. And I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye!